Hi, I'm Krista Johnson. This is Theodore. We're going to talk a little bit about exposing and overcoming. I like to use those words versus the word desensitize. I really don't like that word when it comes to the horse because I actually want to have the horse sensitive and responsive to my aids, not desensitized. What I want to do when it comes to things that might be suspicious or scary to them, I want to expose them to it and help them overcome any discomfort, any concern, any fear towards that, and replace it with acceptance and confidence. They don't necessarily, have to like things. I'm going to get kind of loud with the flag here. I don't expect them to like it, but I want him to think his way through pressure and not just react. I'm going to use the flag the same way I would the stick and string. I'm just going to draw out the same 5 boundaries that I use for riding, communication, and groundwork. For more information on that, there is a video called Boundaries for Riding, Communication, and Groundwork. But I'm going to use the flag for this particular thing just because I want to be able to ride him carrying the flag around, making some noise with it. And I want to make sure that he's good and comfortable with it down here on the ground, so I'm not at risk up there on his back if he happens to get scared. And if you haven't done with this your horse before, be aware there is a blind spot kind of right there under their chin. And if they get unconfident, like he is a little bit unconfident about that right there, that they might strike out and try to stomp the flag. And just be aware that could happen to keep yourself out of the way if you haven't done any of this with your horse before. So I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to add some noise. I don't really want him hiding down there in the dirt, but I like how he's at least curious about the flag. But I want him to learn to focus on this rein and my body language and communication and focus over any noise that I might make with this flag. So right now I just want him to walk a circle to the right. I don't want him to pull on me. I don't want him to push on me. I'm going to start drawing out these boundaries with the flag. There's this one on his right side, one above in front of his nose, one behind his tail, one above his poll. Then the boundary on his left is actually being held by the halter and the rope. But anyways, this does not mean go faster. If you haven't done with this with your horse, it might cause them to think everything means go faster. When I actually ask him to trot, I'm going to put a feel on the rope, stretch my hand out, try to guide that snap forward in front of his nose. He should be trotting there. Since he's not trotting, I'm going to take the flag and drive the hock towards the nose. So I want him to be able to decipher when I'm driving him forward with the flag and when I'm just making noise with it. So I do want him to maintain the trot here, so I'm going to have him uphold that responsibility there. Just needs to trot a circle to the left. I'm just drawing out these boundaries. Good. Now I'm actually going to ask for the canter. I'm going to pick up the contact, elevate my hand, put 3 beats in the rope, canter. Since he's not following my feel and my intention, I'm going to drive the hock forward towards the nose. Now I'm going to add those same boundaries while he's cantering. Canter. There I'm actually driving him forward with the flag because he's not following the feel on the rope and my intention. Canter. 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 The stick and the string is usually a better tool for forward movement. I'd actually be able to touch him with the string ideally, but since I have the flag instead, I'm going to use what I've got. If I need to fix the canter with the stick and string before I hop on him today, I'll use the stick and string. But I just want to make sure he's confident with all of this. Nope. I haven't asked him to stop. There I intentionally touched him with the flag and say, hey, that's my circle, get out of it. I didn't ask you to be there, don't be there. Now I'm actually going to ask him to come down to the walk. I'm going to use that indirect rein. I'll use my indirect rein again to get him to yield to a stop. a little bit worried about that again. So instead of tiptoeing around that and being like, oh, I gotta tiptoe around you because everything scares you, that'll never help a horse. So I'm gonna be like, oh, that scares you. Let's do it some more until you show some signs that you're a little less worried about it and some signs of bravery and curiosity. And that one's a really hard one for him. It's been a hard one right there underneath his chin. So I'll just keep that in mind when I get him out every day to work on that more and more, getting more confident with that. But the point of all this is to get them to tune into you and your aids and not all the extra noise, and to help them learn to think their way through noise, energy, and pressure. When he gets more quiet, that's where I'll quiet down with this flag. He got a little bit less twitchy with his head there, so I got a little bit more quiet with the flag. I'm not taking it away completely, but I want to take off some of the pressure to reward him for quieting himself down a little bit. There we got a lick and chew, and that's much better, but there he's kind of hiding from it over there. So I might set that flag there and let him think about that for a moment if he wants to check it out. I'm absolutely gonna let him be curious. He's not pushing into my space in particular. But that's where I'd kind of start preparing him to ride around with this flag, make sure that he's not going to overreact or just blast off or, you know, do horse-like things that are undesirable. So I want to make sure that he's good with it before I climb up there and try it. Thank you for joining us.